So, hello and welcome, Carol. I'm
Hi.
so excited to share your chapter with everyone because it is a very dramatic chapter. And so, can you introduce yourself, Carol?
Oh, yes. I'm Carol Dickson-Carr. I'm the founder and CEO of Play Your Purpose Incorporated. And I think play is very important in everybody's lives because it helps people be less stressed. They have creative revival, work-life harmony, all the things. And I also tend to advocate because I am also a spicy, neurodivergent contingent. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a very short, and I'm also an educator and professor at SMU. Yeah, that's it. That's the short version.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad to be able to talk with you today. So, let's jump right in. So, now that time has passed, what memory still rises up most vividly from that day? The one that makes you pause, breathe, and feel deeply.
Yeah, God, wow, that was 2003. The moment I remember most clearly was the fireman's voice cutting through all the chaos. He said, "She's alive." I mean, I remember that whole flipping situation, and I mean that even now that sentence just hits me in my chest. It was like the first time I realized that I mattered beyond that tiny, tiny circle I had convinced myself of. In that instant, I think something ancient in me inhaled again. It's like my soul said, "Oh, we're not done yet. I'm not supposed to leave this physical plane."
Just, yeah, you still have a work yet to do on the earth, Carol.
Absolutely.
Oh, so, looking back, how do you know now that the crash was more than an accident in how you feel the intervention today of that?
Yeah, it's wild. Yes, that's 22 years ago. That's wild. It's yeah, but because but everything about that crash, it defied logic, honestly. There weren't any, it was a Nissan Sentra. There were no airbags. It was a crushed car, multiple flips. That's what I was told. I felt like I was skidding and sliding and screaming forever, but apparently it happened in an instant. But I walked out with just soft tissue damage.
Wow.
That's wild. I mean, so that's it. You thought, I mean, you would think after all that and hitting the tree, there would be no more Carol Dixon Carr. But
Yeah.
the deeper intervention was internal. I think I had just told the universe that no one cared and if I lived or died, and it answered immediately and dramatically. That's not your truth, the universe said. I think it was like a recalibration, a divine interruption that pulled me back into alignment with the life I was. I was trying to abandon emotionally, but even though I wasn't consciously planning to leave physically, but yeah, here I am.
So you once believed invisibility kept you safe. What helped you begin reclaiming your visibility and voice after the crash?
Yeah, that the crash, I mean, I think it shattered the illusion that kind of blending it. It's hard for me to blend in, but I mean, I tried because as a neurospicy girl, I didn't know that that's what it was. I just thought I was quirky and weird and didn't fit in. But I think that illusion of blending in was protecting me, or at least I thought it was. What really helped me reclaim visibility was witnessing the outpouring of love afterwards, the emails, calls, prayers, memories people shared. It became impossible to keep pretending that I was just like invisible. So from that day forward, every time I tried to shrink, I'd hear some version of, "But we see you, Carol. We always have." And honestly, my daughter's face, she was 3 then, she's 25 now, in the hospital, her confusion shifting from fear and then relief, it made me realize that disappearing really wasn't an option.
Yeah. So what belief about your worth or capacity for love did you have to unlearn to fully come back to yourself?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good question. Yeah, I had to learn that I had to unlearn the lie that my worth was conditional. On performance, productivity, being easy or being useful. I had to learn the belief born from childhood that I was somehow unlovable to men. You'll hear my daddy issues and all the abandonment stuff. The crash showed me that Daryl, my husband, I mean, we've been married now for 31 years now at so yeah, it's been a minute. He did love me deeply. Depression had just distorted the lens, and unlearning that just meant I could stop negotiating my worth and finally inhabit it.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. So often in our world today, it's we tie our worth to so many other things, our performance, who I do this for you, so that makes me important. Even as far as like with the work that we do has a value, on a monetary value
Hmm.
placed on it. And so then we think, well, that must be what I'm worth. I'm merely that ledger line.
Yeah, but it's not true.
No, no, our worth
Yeah,
was determined before we came here.
yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
based on our performance or anything else that we do. So, has synchronicity shown up differently since that day? Maybe in ways you now trust more than logic.
It's funny you say that because I my default setting is kind of analytical logic, but yeah, absolutely. But before synchronicity felt more like just like coincidence. Now it feels like a conversation. I mean, I trust the nudges, like the wrong turns. I guess you can put wrong turns in quotes because it's a lesson. Um, the unusual timing. The crash taught me that sometimes the universe it taps you, and
Yeah.
sometimes it flips your car. So ever since the signs don't feel random, they feel like guidance. I listen faster. I think I pivot softer, and I assume meaning instead of dismissing it.
So, how has recognizing your neurodivergence changed how you lead, love, and navigate the world?
Yeah, and it's so funny because I mean I didn't really realize that that's what it was. I mean in my 50s you figure out you learn all these things later in life and when you thought you were just a weirdo. But it's just wild. You learn these things much later in life, or at least I did. But it allowed me to understand myself with compassion instead of criticism. And instead of asking what's wrong with me, I shifted to like what works for me. As a leader, I'm more flexible and more honest about energy, capacity, and rhythm. And I create those spaces for others. And as a coach and a professor, it's made me more attuned to the invisible battles people carry. And in
Yeah.
love, especially with my family, I think it softened me. I'm no longer like trying to earn belonging, I'm choosing it.
That is so cool. What parts of your leadership today can be directly traced back to that moment of surrender and survival?
Um, yeah. My entire philosophy of leadership, ethical, human-centered, attuned. And I teach a leadership course right now, currently. It was born, now I say in retrospect that, you forget about these things, but I think it was born in that wreckage. The crash taught me humility. I mean, I already had empathy, but that was more strengthened, but I think more presence, and I lead now with the understanding that people are often one crisis away from losing themselves. And one genuine connection away from finding themselves again. So it made me a leader who listens for what's not being said. And it pushed me to create my company Player Purpose because survival without purpose really it felt incomplete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And we just never know the storm that, 9 times out of 10, if you think that somebody is dealing with a storm, you'll be right 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. You
Yes.
can see it in their eyes. There's something about their
Yep.
demeanor.
Yeah. And I mean the thing is that uh we came here to learn, and the best way for us to learn a lot of times is through opposition, by being stretched and by learning
Mm-hmm.
more
Yeah.
than anything else, more than anything else. And sometimes that comes from failure and not only our failure, but the failure of others.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Failure, now we're gonna call that feedback. I remember it took me like weeks to overcome some like big yucky thing, but now I'm just like, all right, well, let me journal about this. There's
Okay.
got to be a learning thing happening here.
Yep. And I myself have come to that point of saying, you know what? I don't want to be here again. So what can I do to never be here again? What do I need to learn? Because I've started noticing that in my life there were certain lessons that I kept on getting the same lesson over and over and over, and it was
Right.
harder and harder and harder to not get the lesson the first time. The more you repeat it, the harder the lesson gets.
It sounds like, and it's okay, universe, I get it
Yeah,
now. I'm
exactly.
sorry. I'm smarter than the average bear, but sometimes it takes me a minute on some things,
That's
especially
right.
if there's
That's right. Exactly.
trauma
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So if your soul chose to stay for a reason that day, what version of your purpose do you feel you're living into now?
Ooh, that's a big one. Let's see. Um, yeah, I always feel like I want to pay it forward. So I feel like I'm here to help people find themselves in the middle of their own storms, whether it's being like in a neurotypical environment and trying to navigate. I'll try to the masking gets exhausting for sure. And it's wild that I didn't realize that's what I was doing. But I feel like the version of my purpose I'm living now is equal parts teacher, truth teller, and I want to say playful disruptor for sure. I help people who feel like they're too
Yeah,
much. Yeah, well, because some people, it's wild because I would pendulum swing. Like people would say you're too much, and here I am thinking I'm not enough, and neither is true. So I'm thinking that, I can help these people reclaim their identity, their rhythm, their joy. Joy is so important.
yeah.
And especially, when I'm thinking about neurodivergent, multi-passionate folks who have been taught to hide. Ask me how I know about that. I stayed on this physical plane so I can help others stay too.
Okay. That is so I think that's truthfully, I agree with that. Yes. Um, so what would you whisper to someone who's quietly wondering if they matter or if the pain will ever erase?
Yeah, that's
To
rough.
be like that spirit that just kind of comes up beside them and just says what? What would they hear if you
Hmm.
just whispered in their ear something?
Yeah, that's profound. Now I have to think about this. Yeah, I think about this a lot because my daughter, and I can say this because she has a YouTube about it, and she's training to be a therapist. But she tried to take her life about 8 years ago. So this question really hits home. But I think I'd whisper. You matter more than your mind is telling you right now. The brain can be a real jerk. I could use stronger language. I'm not sure what the, I could use some real strong language about how your brain could be. So you matter more than your mind is telling you right now. Your brain is lying to you, but your soul knows the truth. And you'll feel it again. Life goes in cycles. They go in cycles. So the moment isn't the end of your story. And I think I'll add that let someone love you before you think you deserve it. I mean,
Mhm.
we all deserve love. I mean, even the mean people, maybe even especially the mean people, maybe they wouldn't be so mean if they felt loved. But yeah, let someone hold hope for you until you can hold hope for yourself. Because sometimes when people are like in the depths of despair, they're like, yeah, I have nothing. I'm just like, let me hold that space for you. Let me believe in believing in you, even if you don't believe in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I agree totally. What truth do you now carry in your bones about why you are still here?
Oh, yeah, and there's so much, so much left to do. It's wild. I feel like I'm coming into my own. I'm like others. I'm like I'm over the hill in terms of like chronological age,
Yes.
but as far as I feel like I still have a lot of life in me. My story, and this was back when I was in my 30s in 2003. But I'm here because and here I am, I'm pushing 60 now. My story's not finished. I think it's just beginning, honestly. Uh, because so I was navigating a lot of stuff. So, and I knew, and you know how you inherently know that I'm talented, but I'm just not, and I'm smart, but I'm just not like the rest. I'm not like other people, and I don't know what's going on with that. But you know what? I'm going to embrace it and say that it's a gift. I mean, like I said, my story wasn't finished because the world needed the version of me that could only emerge after, I guess you could say, being cracked open. So the truth that I carry is that I'm meant to, I think I'm meant to be a bridge between, I would say, pain and possibility for sure, and also between um invisibility and embodiment, between survival and purpose. I'm big on purpose. At least, I mean, I knew at least 20 years ago what my purpose in life was. But yeah, I mean, on this earth here, this physical plane, I'm here to lead, to teach, inspire, guide, to love, and to show others that even when life flips you upside down, it literally did 22 years ago, you can still rise with clarity and intention for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I also sat down recently and figured, okay, you know what? I am actually, I have less years to live than what I have already lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't think I'm going to live to
you don't
116.
think about that until you actually realize
Hmm.
that, and it's just like, you know what? So what do I want the next part of my life to really look at? And I mean, now we can say that, you know what? I have more wisdom. I have more ability to be a little more discerning
Yes,
in
that
my
absolutely.
the direction that I create for my life now,
For
as
sure.
opposed to, you know how we used to think we had it all figured out?
Yeah, when we were 18, that was 40
Yes,
years ago for me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had it all figured out.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was looking at my graduation mug that my mom bought me. Oh, when I graduated, I still have it. 40
Yeah,
years ago, I graduated high school. I'm like, holy crap! I drank coffee out of that mug this morning, and I thought I had all the answers. Now, now at 58, I'm just like, no, I'm always a work in progress, always
yeah,
learning and growing
exactly.
for sure.
Exactly. And it's now it's like, you know what? I I welcome the lessons. I'm more willing to ask questions and to say, I don't know it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm so much more willing to learn from other people's experience so that
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to. So it's that vicarious lesson.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that, Carol, I want to thank you so much for your chapter, for sharing your experience with us all in moments that moved us. And how can people get in touch with you?
I mean, if you search Carol Dickson-Carr on Facebook, you'll find me. I'm on Instagram as Prof. Carol, like Professor PROF, Prof. Carol. I'm also Play Your Purpose Coaching on Instagram as well. Um, and my Facebook profile, I post mostly public stuff anyway. So, and my Linktree link is there, where you can see all the little goodies that I provide. And yeah, that's pretty much the essence.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Carol.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I invite you all to enjoy Carol's chapter and I appreciate being able to talk with you today, Carol.
Yeah, it was an honor. Thanks, Pam. Appreciate it.